CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
This was a vaccine that was covered for 3 years by the federal government, and they chose to stop funding it. And so we had to make an assessment of what it would cost us.
Tonight on CTV News, traveling vaccination. Some Albertans will have to leave the province to receive a free COVID vaccine. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Some Albertans will have to travel to British Columbia if they want to receive a free COVID vaccination. This after Premier Danielle Smith has doubled down, saying that non-healthcare workers in our province will have to register and pay to receive the COVID vaccine. The Premier citing cost-saving measures and declining vaccination numbers here in Alberta. However, the BC Ministry of Health has confirmed that any Canadian resident living in Alberta is eligible to receive a publicly funded shot in BC at a public clinic. The Health Ministry adding that BC residents will receive vaccine priority. Premier Smith is standing by her government's rollout choice for this year, but says they could look at a pre-registry for free vaccines in the future.
We'll try it this way. This year we are trying to mitigate costs because it is an expensive intervention. We don't pay for every vaccine. The shingles vaccine, for instance, we don't pay for. The RSV shot, we only just started paying for it for those over age 75. That's a $300 shot. When people go traveling and need a yellow fever shot, they pay for that themselves. So we don't pay 100% of the cost of every vaccine. So we're just trying to align our approach on COVID with the same approach that we're taking on RSV.
Smith was asked why she extended coverage of the vaccine to healthcare workers. She says the unions requested it, and those workers are at a higher risk during respiratory virus season. A man from Calgary charged with kidnapping a 12-year-old boy during a catch-a-predator scheme was previously convicted of child porn offenses. 37-year-old Zane Merchant faces 9 new charges. RCMP say the boy escaped an abduction when a group of teens arranged to meet the man in Airdrie on Monday. They wanted to record the encounter. Court documents obtained by CTV News show Merchant was convicted of possession of child pornography in 2022 and 23. He was prohibited from communicating with children under 16 without parental supervision. Today, duty counsel appeared briefly in an Airdrie courtroom on Merchant's behalf, and the case was adjourned until next week. Merchant remains in custody. With residential infill shaping up to be a major municipal election issue, some Edmontonians aren't waiting to see what our next city council has in store. They're using a legal mechanism to prevent multi-unit developments in their neighborhoods. Our Jeremy Thompson has the details.
Lawn signs warning about change are all over Lansdowne, a neighborhood response to signs like this and the infill development they foreshadowed.
Oh my gosh, there's going to be an 8-plex and then another 8-plex. And before you know it, how many 8-plexes are we going to have? Multiplexes
up to 8 units are allowed on most residential lots in Edmonton since new zoning rules kicked in last year.
This is not right, and people feel terrorized in all these communities.
Now, Shelley Schwartz is rallying her neighbors to fight back.
The one legal thing that we can do is put in a restrictive covenant.
As long as you have 2 or more property owners, you can enter into essentially an agreement.
This real estate lawyer says restrictive covenants are an inexpensive legal tool. Everyone who signs on agrees to certain redevelopment restrictions, from how a new building looks to how big it can be.
And it runs with the land, so each subsequent owner is bound by them.
Darren Richards says covenants haven't been common in mature neighborhoods because until recently, city policies and bylaws were less permissive. He's not surprised to hear multiple neighborhoods are now drafting them.
You kind of have to have a quarterback, someone who's active in their community to kind of, knock on doors and get people involved. So it's not easy, but it's doable.
In Lansdowne, Schwartz is that QB. So far, she says about a quarter of the neighborhood has signed up for her restrictive covenant that allows a maximum of 2 units per lot.
These things have been coming so fast in so many places, which was not an anticipated outcome, that it's understandable that people want to put a full stop to this right now, forever.
Councillor and mayoral candidate Tim Cardmell has been pushing for a pause on mid-block multiplexes, while he sympathizes with Edmontonians that are signing on to restrictive covenants.
It's not a great outcome. Cities do have to evolve and grow and develop.
Councillor Ashley Salvador agrees. She's not sure how a patchwork of restrictive covenants will impact Edmonton as the city works to absorb a rapidly rising population by growing up rather than out.
And that would almost lock those areas into a certain regulatory framework and not allow for adaptation as our city evolves and grows.
While Schwartz is confident in the covenant, she wasn't taking any chances with this property across the street from the house she's building. After catching wind it was in line to become an 8-plex, she and 2 neighbors bought it with plans to redevelop it themselves.
At a premium, which is fine. Again, we said, well, I guess if we have to overpay on the lot, at least we are not losing as much value there.
Once the Lansdowne covenant is in place, Schwartz plans to share her work with other communities looking to defend themselves from infill. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A family-owned and run business in the Kingsway-area has been destroyed by fire. Architectural Clearinghouse, a business that salvages, reclaims, and recycles building materials, went up in flames last night. The fire started around 9:30 p.m. It was declared under control around 6 o'clock this morning. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services says 10 crews worked to extinguish the flames. Business owner Brenda Midlack says she's devastated.
There's no words. It's your whole livelihood is just going up in flames in front of you, and there's nothing you can do but watch it burn. We hope it was accidental. We hope it wasn't on purpose.
She says the building was filled with doors, windows, sinks, and toilets. While the cause of the fire is still unknown, Midlack believes it began at the back of the building. The independent candidate who came second to Pierre Poilievre in Monday's by-election says she's going to see what action can be taken against the longest ballot committee. The group flooded the Battle River Crowfoot by-election ballot with more than 200 independent candidates. The move is supposed to bring attention to election reform. Independent candidate Bonnie Critchley came second to Poilievre on Monday, getting 10% of the vote. She says some voters thought she was part of the longest ballot committee. In an interview with Alberta Primetime, she says she'd like changes.
I really do think that it is legal election interference. And if nothing else, I want the regulations changed so that you have one official agent for one candidate, not one official agent for 204 candidates.
The longest ballot committee wants similar reforms. Critchley also says she'll be holding Pierre Poilievre accountable for fully representing the riding and showing up for the communities. Albertans living with disabilities are concerned about proposed changes to the assured income for the severely handicapped. The province will be moving some who currently receive the benefit to a new program. CTV's Nermanisa reports.
I desperately need a new IV pole.
Brianne Kuffner needs an IV drip every few days. She also deals with multiple disabilities, meaning she can't work.
Disabled people need more sick time. We get penalized for taking sick days working. There's no protection, again, for disabled people.
Kuffner receives financial benefits from the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, known as AISH. Proposed new rules could change things.
If you actually talk to someone who is on the AISH, they are terrified. They are so scared that this government does not care about them in any way, shape, or form.
The province is looking to create a new program known as ADAPP for people with disabilities who are eligible to work. However, Kuffner worries not being able to work full-time could be a barrier.
Why would a company hire someone for 13 hours at $20 an hour when they can hire someone who can work full-time immediately?
In a statement to CTV News, Jason Nixon, Minister of Assisted Living and Social Services, says people with disabilities shouldn't have to choose between getting the support they need and having the opportunity to pursue a meaningful career. That's why we're introducing the new Alberta Disability Assistance Program, so Albertans with disabilities aren't punished for getting a job. There are roughly 77,000 Albertans on AISH, according to the province. It will determine which stay on AISH and which go to ADAPP.
If you're on ADAPP, I think it's $350 is fully exempt. And after that, there's a sliding scale on the clawback. But the way the program is structured, you would have to earn about over $2,100 a month to actually be better off than you would currently on AISH.
The province is looking for feedback on the proposed ADAPP program through an online survey. Its proposed introduction date is July 2026. Naranisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
St. Albert is hosting a national sporting event this weekend. The Canadian BMX Championships will be run on a new and improved course, one of several facilities, getting a funding boost to run big-time competitions. CTV's Merrick DeCash reports.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Rhea Trechka is one of the riders off to the races this weekend at the St. Albert BMX Center.
I really like this track. It's really fun. It makes it go really fast, and I'm really excited for this weekend.
800 riders will compete in the Canadian BMX Championships. Canadian Olympian Molly Simpson is among the competition. She's in search of her 9th national championship.
It is the biggest event that we can have for Canadians. It is the BMX National Championship, and so all of these young riders behind me here and in front, they are looking to chase that title.
2 years ago, the St. Albert BMX Center received a provincial grant of more than $500,000. The money was used to upgrade the facility's Supercross track to Olympic specifications.
That 8-meter hill is a world-class hill, and that's what we race on at the Olympics, the World Champs, and World Cups. So, yeah, having it here is amazing, and I really like the track. I enjoy it.
Today, they got $55,000 from the province as part of a support package for sporting events being hosted in Alberta. Funding that will go towards maintaining the track.
What this has done is it's also led more grassroots. What you see behind you, there's world-class riders that are now developing, and they're seeing Molly on the world scale and the world stage, and they're saying, hey, she can do it, I can do it.
Riders like Trechka, who's looking for a repeat of her championship performance last year in Quebec.
I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really fun.
Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new exhibition in Jasper showcases Canada's glacial landscapes. Photographers Jim Elzinga and Roger Vernon captured a collection of landscapes at the Columbia Icefield. The exhibition highlights the icefield and the effects of climate change on the glacier. It is time to mark the United Nations International Year of Glaciers Preservation. One of the only U-cut Christmas tree farms in Alberta is up for sale. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has the details.
After years of growing and pruning Christmas trees, Peter and Judy Kepler are ready to put down their machetes.
I think my body worn out a little bit over the last 50 years working with trees, and I think I did it long enough.
The couple own Forever Green Tree Farm, about an hour and a half southwest of Edmonton. 40% of the conifers grown here are for the holidays. The rest are for landscaping.
It's harder to grow a Christmas tree, so the Christmas tree is probably the biggest feature.
It takes 10 to 15 years to raise a tree. Fortunately for prospective buyers, the Keplers are selling their business turnkey ready, with thousands of trees already growing on the property.
It's everything ready to go. You don't have to wait, and the equipment is here. Everything is a bit here.
While most people don't think about real Christmas trees until December, the work getting those trees ready starts as soon as the snow melts. Daily work goes into taking care of all these trees, all done by hand. Do your arms hurt after a while?
When we start early in the season, it does, but after a while, no, we just do it.
The Edmonton Chamber of Commerce says part of the appeal of buying a real Christmas tree is the experience of being on the farm and cutting it yourself.
There's probably a very large market for that because people do want to spend money on those experiences, especially during the holidays.
The couple say they've already had some interested buyers.
Ideally, it would be a family, and they can carry on with the Christmas trees and the landscaping.
It's a lifestyle to live on a tree farm like this.
Forever Green Tree Farm will continue operating until they find the perfect buyer, so you still have a chance to get your own tree this Christmas. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Ahead, inclusive firefighting. A program in Red Deer aims to expose more people to the firefighting profession. Plus, once upon a time in Edmonton. We bring you part 2 on the history of the Pride Parade here in Edmonton.
This is a celebration of people who are great contributors to our city.
Good evening, folks. Cool, cloudy, and windy through the day today. We only got to 19 for a daytime high. Should be back into the 20s tomorrow. Sunshine comes out, the wind dies down, and then some real legitimate heat sets in by the end of the weekend and into next week. We'll show you that in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. It's been 20 years since Canada became the 4th country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. The passing of the Civil Marriage Act was a reflection of changing attitudes in our country. Part 2 of the history of Edmonton's Pride Parade looks at how these changes propelled the parade to some of its biggest successes, while it may have also led to its end.
It's frustrating that people would, speak ill of this or think we shouldn't do this. I mean, this is a celebration of people who are great contributors to our city in all facets of life.
In 2005, Stephen Mendel became Edmonton's first mayor to walk in the Pride Parade.
Only a mayor can do this. Got an old vehicle from Fort Edmonton and got them to bring it over on a truck that he and I rode in.
Rob Rowatsky from the Edmonton Queer History Project says the visible and vocal support that began with Mandel was an emotional game changer in the LGBTQ2S+ community.
Happy Friday! It shows the work of advocates like Michael in changing the landscape of the culture in the province.
Let's just celebrate who we are, what we do, and where we live.
It took another 7 years before the first Alberta Premier would join. Alison Redford broke that barrier in 2012.
We are a very different province than we were many years ago, and I'm very proud of that.
And 2 years later, Oilers captain Andrew Ference led the way as the first NHL player in Edmonton's Pride Parade.
I think sports teams have a huge role to play in the community as well. So to support something like this is something I think that has to be done.
Edmonton's Pride Parade was becoming one of the largest in the country. In 2018, though, that momentum was halted when protesters interrupted the parade.
We felt strongly that the police should not be welcome to March in Pride because the police have done little to seriously address the constant mistreatment of trans people, Indigenous people, Black people, people of color, and the homeless community.
No justice, no pride! No justice, no pride!
After a 30-minute delay, the parade was able to continue and finish. And following the parade, organizers invited members of the community to discuss the issues. Fair says the meeting fell apart and police had to intervene.
A relatively short time later, the organizing group said that they were done and there'd be no more parade.
Rowatsky says the things people fought for during Edmonton's early marches, including sponsorships to cover costs, police participation, and representation from government, had now become the issues.
Those were huge victories for the community and the people putting on the parade. Yeah. And they became the problems.
Those disagreements led organizers to cancel the parade in 2019.
Maybe a parade is not the same significance it was, and maybe this time's gone.
Now, 6 years later, it's returning to the streets of Edmonton.
I'm wary. We'll see.
While the future of the parade may be unclear, its importance to many, especially people who grew up during less accepting times, remains the same.
Let's also just keep in mind how far we've come as a community.
Yeah. Edmonton really has changed in a very positive way. That's my assessment.
If you'd like to read more about the history of Edmonton's Pride Parade or watch some extra content, you can head over to our website at ctvnewsedmonton.ca. A firefighting camp is aiming to inspire more diversity in the firefighting profession. Ignite the Fire takes place this weekend in Red Deer. The goal is to encourage people who otherwise might not consider firefighting as a possible career to give it a shot. This includes women and people who are gender diverse. Throughout the weekend, participants will have the chance to run drills, use equipment, and engage with real fire safely. Organizers say the program could have a big impact on nearby communities.
it does open up a lot of doors to the smaller towns because there's some services that they don't have this opportunity to hold such a function as this.
Applications are open until Friday. The program is free. After the break, out there in the wild, we bring you the story of one house cat's lengthy outdoor excursion to the most unlikely of destinations.
Some cats do swim, hike, or even rock climbing, and I know those are possible, but I just know that it's not for every cat.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Temperatures made it to 19 for a daytime high today, 3 degrees cooler than average, and the coolest day we'll see for the rest of the month. 10 this morning. We'll be in that 10-degree range again tomorrow morning. Had a lot of rain in northeastern and east central Alberta through the course of the day. Here in Edmonton, skies are now clearing. The wind is easing and will stay under mainly sunny skies for the next few days. You do have a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, though, up around high level tomorrow afternoon. Some of those will drift southeast towards Fort McMurray by early Saturday morning. Kind of falls apart before it really gets into the Fort McMurray region. Sunshine, though, here in the Edmonton area and areas off to the south as a nice big upper ridge settles in and sticks around for a while. Temperatures all of next week near 30 for daytime highs. Around 9 or 10 degrees off to the north and east of the Edmonton region. About 10 as well here in the city. 7 in Red Deer. Cool through the Peace Country, 4s and 5s. Look at the mountain parks. 2 in Jasper and Banff tomorrow morning. Pretty decent rebound in the afternoon, though, as we'll show you in a moment. 25 in Grand Prairie. There's that chance of a shower or thunderstorm around high level. 21 in Fort McMurray, 22s for Vegreville, Cold Lake, and that 21-22 range as well. Lloydminster, Coronation. 21 in Red Deer, and up to about 26 after that chilly start to the day tomorrow in Jasper. We'll get to about 23 or 24. Light wind, mainly sunny skies. Mid to upper 20s for Saturday, Sunday. Close to 30 Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday all have a really good chance at hitting 30 or 31 for daytime highs. And it looks like right through the end of next week, we'll see daytime highs near 30 degrees. So we've had 2 30-degree days so far this month of August. They were the first 2 days of the month. And it looks like in this last week of August, we'll hit at least 1, maybe as 3 more 30-degree days. That is your forecast.
A couple's camping trip to a remote Vancouver Island beach turned into a rescue mission to save a house cat as someone's purring pet was lost in the middle of nowhere. CTV's Andy Garland has that story.
Sil Lee and Matt Reamer were expecting to see wildlife when they went backpacking, but never in their wildest dreams did they think they would come across a house cat in the middle of nowhere.
A lady came by and she said, "Oh, just to let you know, there's a cat living in the bushes right behind your tent."
Last week, the couple traveled to the North Island and then drove 90 minutes down a logging road to camp at St. Joseph's Bay.
We just didn't expect that our first camping would be like that. Never thought we would end up with a cat.
Having 2 cats of their own, they began helping other campers on the beach to try and capture the elusive feline by luring it with hot dogs.
Every time you called the cat, it would kind of meow and then it would be very shy and skittish and run away.
The next day, after several failed attempts and only scratch marks to show for it, their perseverance paid off and the tuxedo kitty was finally in their arms.
So I just put him into our tent, and then that's when we were like, now what?
They decided to cut their trip short and packed up all their supplies with the cat stowed away in a backpack.
And the cat was actually calm, oddly calm after being so skittish.
Matt and Sil took their unexpected travel companion to the North Island Veterinarian Hospital and called the number from a missing poster that was posted at the bay.
I think she was a little bit shocked. I think she had already kind of put the cat in the back of her mind.
The cat, whose name is Pipsqueak, went missing more than 2 weeks ago when it got spooked by a dog while camping.
Some cats do swim, hike, or even rock climbing, and I know those are possible, but I just know that it's not for every cat.
The couple ended up returning Pipsqueak to its owner in Nanaimo while heading back home.
Whether we got scratches, whether we had to cut our trip short, it was worth it.
Andy Garland, CTV News.
Alrighty, folks, that's all from us on this Thursday. Thanks for wrapping up your day with us here on CTV Edmonton. Make sure to join us again tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. as always to close out the week. Have yourself a great Friday. We will see you tomorrow night. Take care. Bye for now.